Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shenandoah University Esports Arena located in beautiful Winchester, Virginia. We have a good series of esports here tonight for you folks. We're starting off with beautiful Rocket League NACE Varsity Premier Week 4, going in a little later on today into some Smash Bros as well. I'm Ben Kincaid, joined by Chris Clayton, and we could not be more excited to be here.
Yeah, this is our first doubleheader of the season. Last week we went from Rocket League into Marvel Rivals because Smash had a forfeit week 1 in their, what is it? NECC would be
yes,
that,
so.
their Tuesday league. So they actually have a match today, which means you get to see us up here for a good couple hours as we'll be taking you into Smash at 8 p.m. local time, Eastern Standard Time here in Virginia.
Yeah, it's going to be a good lineup of games here tonight. We're going to be starting off with our Rocket League, like I said before, but it's going to be a pretty tough matchup here in this series up against JMU. And if you're not familiar with JMU, let's just take a peek at how well they are doing here in the standings. The only other team to be 3-0 thus far. Kaiser still undefeated, but only playing 2 games thus far.
Yeah, and a big win there over, namely, Conestoga. James Madison, it was a team that 3-1 Conestoga, a team who looked incredibly strong against Shenandoah earlier this season. So I'm no mathematician, but that's a bit of a scary look for the Hornets. Take a look at this roster here. These are 3 talented players coming into the game from JMU. Gad, Fright, and Tyler, all extremely talented, and again, as a unit, were able to overcome one of the most cohesive units we've seen on our broadcast in Conestoga.
Yeah, Conestoga falling 3-1 to this JMU squad. Definitely something very, very scary for this SU roster as we take a quick look at who we have in the driver's seats tonight. The normal Kiazi, Mango, and Pagani, the ones in the action here for SU Rocket League. They had a pretty close matchup last weekend, coming back from a 3-1 best of 7, winning that one in Game 7, 4-3, that series score. But it took them a while to get started in that series, dropping they won Game 1 and then promptly lost 3 in a row last week and had to fight from behind. So we'll have to see if they can get off to a hot start here tonight or if it's going to be the same story that we saw last week.
Yeah, it took everything they had just a week ago to take down those Georgia Bulldogs in what ended up for us being one of the most exciting series I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
But yes, almost reverse sweep, a reverse sweep in the best of 5, if you will. But a lot of circumstances at play in that game as well. You know, the lack of a warm-up was something we mentioned, and although I'm not one to make excuses, and I know the team is not either, but that was an undeniable factor in that day. They were able to come out on top no matter the circumstances, and we take a look at that man on your screen right now. There's a stat that I want to single out there. That goal participation number down there, that's triple digits. That says 100% on the 18 goals that Shenandoah has scored this season. Mango has been everywhere on the field contributing to this team.
Yeah, Mango really has been a part of every good thing that has happened to this Rocket League roster thus far in this group, this series, this season for this SU roster. But yeah, 100% goal participation, 14 of them, I believe, made, and then 4 assists on his end as well. Those are some pretty crazy numbers. So if I'm GMU, I'm looking at how do we shut Mango down and then continue to up the pace of the game.
Yeah, JMU has a lot coming their way here today because, as we know, the Shenandoah Esports rosters here tend to improve quite a bit over the course of the season. Our Rocket League team especially has been known to really find their footing partway through the season and then catch in stride as the year goes on. So while SU is still somewhat finding their footing, they continue to improve week over week. Last week was a bit of a scare in NECC specifically with that Georgia game, but they still did come out on top, and now I feel like have a lot of momentum, but into a very tough opponent here today.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a big mountain to climb here for the SU roster up against JMU. We'll see how they start off in game number 1 once we hop into this series, which I believe we will be getting into here quite shortly. I would hope. It looks like players are kind of getting ready to hop into a lobby, but we will have to see how quickly that happens. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very tough matchup, but I want to see kind of some of the things that we saw towards the end of that Georgia game. We saw a lot more aggression and a lot quicker rotations into offensive momentum, right? They were falling behind early in a lot of these rotations on the defensive side, which really allowed Georgia to capitalize on that. So speeding up these rotations is something that I would like to see to be a little bit cleaner from this SU squad.
Yeah, big difference from that Georgia series compared to what we're used to was Kiazi, especially absolutely stepped up to the moment.
Yeah.
He was the leading goal scorer on the day across both teams, outscored the rest of the SU squad combined. So absolutely stepped up when the team sort of felt their offense go dull. Kiazi was finding holes, and that's not usually his role in this team, but he was more than comfortable to step up in that moment and find results. So that's something I would love to see. You know, this team does have an identity, and a lot of the identity revolves around Mango being the one scoring the goals, as we saw in that 100% goal participation. But that's not going to work every time. And so knowing that your teammates, knowing that the other guys on your roster can find ways to stay important and facilitate wins is very encouraging to see from this squad.
Yeah, I mean, Kiazi was absolutely lighting it up. Let me look back in my little notes here. Kiazi had 7 goals in that 7 games against Georgia Black. Mango with 4, Pagani with 2 on the board as well later in the series as we hop into game number 1 against JMU, already winning off on that kickoff and trying to get something going on offense here. Mango pass over to Pagani, but no boost to follow up and catch up to that ball in that corner as it's Gad passing it back to Fright. Mango with a touch into the corner. That one was on target from Fright, but Mango, of course, there to send that out of harm's way.
All right, Ben, you and I know better than a lot of people about this SU roster. What am I looking for in these first few minutes? A cool, calm, and collected game of Rocket League from SU. This is a very momentum-based team, especially when it comes to their own confidence. And that's a heck of a way to get this thing rolling. Kiazi plays the miss, and JMU does exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, that is a misplay, it seems, from Gad. They're just not expecting Kiazi possibly to follow up on that ball. They're just misreading where that one was going to go. Kiazi with a big bump onto Pagani there off of that kickoff. Mango able to get back in time into that corner to try to get this one, the pressure at least nullified just for a moment. But JMU trying to answer back here after letting up a goal in the first minute.
Yeah, and we can all take a moment of silence to appreciate Mango's 100% goal participation, because there it goes. Kiazi with a solo goal there to start this thing off. So Mango's fun little stat goes out the window, but success is hard to complain about if you're SU, and finding yourself up 1-0 over JMU is certainly nothing to complain about. So Mango takes the ball out of his own corner and does have a shot here. One more defender to beat, and he almost gets the 50 into that top corner of the goal, but JMU ready to play around it, playing a patient game and starting to establish their offense. Sprite goes for a bump. Mango not going to fall for it. One more flick. Mango bangs it all the way down the field. Gad forced to go up and goes for maybe a psycho. I couldn't tell there, but ultimately no goals either direction after a couple scary looks.
I thought maybe that Pagani would follow up off of that backboard, but instead opts to play the safer route, preserve the 1-0 lead here, and sit in that midfield position. But right now, I mean, SU is playing with great speed and great ball control thus far in these corners as well, able to really put the pressure on JMU offensively as a bump comes through. Pagani taking that one into the corner. A cross is there, but no follow-up from the Hornets.
Yeah, I'm liking that I'm not seeing SU give JMU much space. Every time the ball starts to slow down, an SU defender is all the way up in JMU's business. Whoever is trying to control the ball and maybe start a dribble, start a slow play, SU's not letting it happen. So JMU's really going to have to earn it in terms of passing and quick plays, quick solo plays even. But the harder, more mechanically intense plays are going to be what it takes for JMU with this style of defense.
Yeah, Tyler trying to carry that one and find a pinch off of the floor, but won't be able to find anything. Mango going for a bump there, but can't find the connection they were looking for either, as Pagani does have a little bit of a whiff there, but Kiazi back in time to send that one back up into the air. Mango the one to send it into the corner, but JMU a potential angle here. Pagani has no boost. The bouncing ball will find the goal, and Gad gets JMU on the board.
Yeah, Pagani just gets beat here, tries to go up and meet him up top, but Gad was all the way up. I didn't see if he came from the ceiling or just pre-jumped that, but either way, gets to the ball first. An aggressive play from JMU. SU gets... Oh, and our producer says he got bumped all the way up there. I did not see that happen, so a tough break from SU as a bump leads basically to a goal.
Yeah, Tyler with a cross there. Pagani the one to meet the ball in front of the net, but now all tied up with a minute 30 to go. Tyler with a shot on goal. Pagani there with the save right. Does get a demo there onto Kiazi as well, but that should not succumb to much as the ball hovers again in front of SU's goal as we approach the final minute, 10 minute here in game number one. Right up in the air, trying to take it to the corner, but Kiazi will beat him out in the air on that one. It's Gad now trying to take the 50-50, but Kiazi able to win that one out.
Yeah, minute left in the game. We are still tied, but I'll tell you something I am noticing is that these boost numbers are really starting to scare me for SU. Every time they get pinned in their own net, it's defenders with 20 and 30 boost forced to make borderline plays, like very bare minimum boost in order to make these saves. They have zero room for error, and if that continues, they will absolutely get bit probably more than once. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on the longer this series goes, as this is still game one, but 30 seconds left, a tie game, and SU's absolutely still in.
Yeah, fast cross coming through from Mango there, trying to make some sort of connection with Kiazi that was on the ground, but just unable to find that connection. Kiazi up in the air, tossing it back to Mango. Pagani following up to try to maintain some possession, but just pins it up against that right wall. As now a cross coming through from Tyler. 5 seconds left here in game number one. Mango with an approach, a cross coming through. Kiazi in position. Now Pagani, the one to keep this ball up barely, but it will meet the ground as we go to a game one overtime tied at 1.
Okay, yeah, I haven't hated what I've seen from either of these teams so far, as that's a shot on net. Tyler, more than enough time to make a play. Well positioned there as Pagani just bangs it against the backboard. SU trying to keep the ball on the right side of the field, but now not so much the right side of the field, as a good shot attempt there, but a tough angle. Would have been very hard to score. Now Mango with a bit of an opportunity, flicks it up. Gad forced to make a play, but his teammate ready to catch it. So Tyler does put one on net. Pagani with a touch to clear it out, but a bit of a double commit there, a bit of a miscommunication. Mango has another opportunity to make a solo play. Does get stuffed very quickly. 40 seconds into this, a couple good shots on net as Tyler forced to jump, can't be ready for that play.
And Gad carrying that one now into the far corner, gets past Mango. Kiazi, however, is there on that near post to find the angle. Mango shot just wide. Pagani with the follow-up. That will also go just wide to the left-hand side of the goal. Mango trying to win out on this 50-50. Pagani has zero boost to work with, has to try to find something, but still is struggling to get back on defense. We'll be able to find that full boost in their own corner. Flip reset coming through from Mango into the far corner of JMU as it's Tyler to Gad, but still the defense holding strong as we approach a minute and a half into this game one overtime.
Yeah, a lot of time passing and without a goal scored from either side. This is exactly what we saw just last week in that Georgia series as well. Those were very low-scoring games until Game 7 when all hell broke loose and everybody was scoring every 20 seconds. But if I'm SU, I don't know that I can hang in a shootout like that, especially against a team as talented as JMU. So looking to keep these games close, and that's exactly what they've done. 1-1 is not a bad stat line if you're able to get into these overtime situations, and you just need to find one. But the SU defense has held up pretty solidly so far through 2 minutes of overtime.
Tyler now in the corner, 2 minutes of overtime. Like you say, Kiazi in position to find that save. Now it's Fright trying to take this one into the corner. Mango will meet it. Kiazi trying to possibly get a pinch maneuver there with Mango and Kiazi up in the air, but can't find anything as Pagani will clear that one just above JMU's goal. Tyler there with the demo onto Mango as well. This gives Gad a potential opportunity, but won't follow up with that aerial dribble as it's get pushed back into the corner. Kiazi with a little bit of a touch, but right now still in that little ping pong match coming through between these two teams. Mango, it seemed like it could have been a whiff there, but just possibly trying to get the correct angle. The shot is on target, but Tyler is there for the save.
Yeah, I mean, these have been a weird couple touches here as Mango finds one, bounces it off the ground, and Pagani's going to get a shot and absolutely finds the back of the net. 3 minutes into this one. Look at the setup here from Mango. Launches it into the floor and finds the bump on the follow-up. What a play from Mango, and Pagani able to put it on target. That's a massive win to start this series off.
Yeah, that bump was nasty from Mango. Fright was in the perfect position on that crossbar to find that save, but Mango takes him completely out of the equation, giving Pagani a wide open net to shoot at, and he does not miss the opportunity. SU take game one in a very, very close overtime.
Yeah, how about that? We said we wanted to see more team play out of this team. That's a perfect example. I mean, that is a lot on Mango, to be fair, spiking the ball on the ground, recognizing that he's out of boost and can't put a shot on net, but also falling directly into the defender. Kind of lobbed it up for Pagani, but that Pagani was absolutely in the right spot, in the right time, and put a gorgeous shot on net. So that's the team play that we were expecting, or what we were hoping to see. And it results in a win over a team that they're going to need more moments like that, right? Keeping JMU to 1 goal in game one is a big feat the longer this series goes on.
Yeah, and mentally winning a very, very back and forth 3-minute overtime definitely boost the confidence there just a little bit if you are the Shenandoah Hornets, as we look like we are jumping into game number 2 here. Players are loading in to the match as we speak. But yeah, that is exactly the game that you want to have in game number 1. A close overtime going your way is a very, very positive thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kick off game number 2 and SU looking to repeat that success. But I mean, the biggest thing that I can say to define that success is, like I said, keeping this a 1-score game at most. If JMU is able to start racking up scores, I don't know that the Hornets can keep up in an offensive shootout like that. But maintaining that level of defense as a dangerous ball floats over Gad's head there. Maybe got caught cheating up a little bit, but not quite on target, so they get away with one there. But 30 seconds into this game, so far, some good looks as Kiazi just looks to take one himself, can't quite find it. And Pagani looking to just play disruptor, but now gets stuck in the corner. A good touch from Mango to buy some time for his players, but can't quite find a shot on net. Kiazi with the one more to keep this this offensive possession alive for SU, now well over 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I love the offensive pressure that SU is coming out with in this game. They're not afraid to take these chows, and a lot of them are pretty beneficial because these 50s, a lot of them have been going their way as it's Gad up in the air. Mango from behind, able to find a touch and send that one up onto the backboard. Right there with the demo as well, but Mango now with a shot on goal. Nothing JMU can do about that one. That's a goal for every single Hornet now in this series.
Yeah, I didn't see how Mango got there, but the entire JMU defense just got caught cheating up a little too far, right? That should never be allowed to go in, but JMU's third man finding his way home a little too late. Now, kickoff does land right in Gad's lap, and this is an opportunity for a shot on net. Kiazi goes a little high, forces it down, and the team is ready to respond. So good coverage there, again, by the SU defense to keep this thing close, but Tyler able to squeak one in from a tight angle there, too, past what was a very strong defense.
Yeah, Fright had that touch right off of the crossbar. Kiazi was trying to get into the right position but just couldn't quite get there fast enough, allowing Tyler to really find that bottom left corner of the goal to tie this one up at 1 apiece yet again as we approach the final 3 minutes here of game number 2. Pagani trying to fight out of their own corner, but JMU trying to maintain possession of pass, a shot going just high, the follow-up coming through, winning the 50-50, but that also goes just wide there for JMU. But I mean, you can see the offensive pressure that JMU is putting on right now. SU struggling to find a clear.
Yeah, SU got away with 1, if not 2 there, but you take them where you can get them, right? Not every shot is going to find its way in, but that one will. What is that? Pinch! That is a tough break for the Hornets. Look at this one. I mean, sometimes you got to put a hand up. That's
tough.
That is just unlike. Mango was right there, but obviously couldn't have been ready for that one. This is Rocket League.
That was a very, very fast-moving ball in that sense. You can't really react to that one, especially with where that pinch came from. That is not something that you would be ready for in any case, in any scenario in that spot. But nevertheless, JMU takes themselves up 1 here, 2-1. Right there with the touch off the crossbar. The follow-up from Gad is there. And now JMU find themselves with a 2-goal lead.
Okay, I mean, that one was tough. Kiazi kind of bit on that first shot just a little too hard and then had to sort of scramble to get back into position. He did get very close and was still a body in the way, but it just sort of bounces its way off of Kiazi and off of the crossbar and into the net. So a tough break there once again for SU as the floodgates are starting to open a little bit, but SU's going to have to find a way to plug it quick and find their way back on the board.
Tyler and Fright fighting for some corner clear on the side of JMU. Gad going down low. Mango able to win up on that 50-50 there on the ground. Now it's Tyler's turn yet again. Pagani, the last one to beat. Pagani won't be beat that time, able to find that save and push that one off into the corner. And still plenty of time to go here in game number 2. I mean, a minute 45 is pretty much 5 years when it comes to Rocket League, and only being down 2, it is very, very capable and possible for SU to come back in this game too.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw JMU score 2 goals in about 30 seconds, so obviously anything can happen in the game of Rocket League, but Kiazi has to come up with a big one there, and he does. So follows the ball out as it bounces toward midfield, and Mango's going to put a shot on. Goes just a little wide, but it is well played by Fright as well. So 60 seconds left in this game. Pagani wins up top and does get past the last defender, but nobody ready for that result. I can't blame him. I don't think anybody was expecting that second win from Pagani, but unfortunate break again, an opportunity lost for the Hornets as clock keeps ticking. A good shot there, but just a little wide again. Kiazi's gonna find one more shot, and it's just a little wide again. So the opportunities are popping up for SU, but they're just coming up short.
I mean, they had so many looks there in that offensive possession, but they just could not find the correct angle to find a goal. Now with 31 seconds left in game number 2, they're still down 2. They need to find a goal, frankly, within the next 10 seconds if they want to stay alive here in game number 2. But right now, JMU in firm control of the momentum and the ball here in game number 2.
Oh yeah, and that's a dangerous ball. Pagani gets a bit of a tough straight up bounce there. I don't think that's how he drew that one up, so the ball will bounce its way right back into the SU corner. Bright goes for one more, tries to sneak a shot on goal, but with that, we have zeros on the clock, and JMU comes away with a win in game 2.
Now JMU able to tie this one up 1 apiece here in this best of 5. The defense not looking as strong as it did there in game number 1 for SU. I mean, one of those goals, an unfortunate pinch, but then also some overcommits for some saves coming through from Kiazi off of that double follow-up. It was Gad that was able to find that follow-up goal to make it 3-1 in this game, but still a lot of good looks coming through from SU. They just have not been able to find the correct follow-up or the correct location placement of these shots to find these goals.
Yeah, through 2 games, we've got a bit of a blueprint here for SU, and it does boil down to your defense. Clearly, this JMU squad is pretty hard to score on, so you're not going to get many opportunities, and when you do, you got to be able to find a way to put it in, because JMU can clearly, strike back quick and make this turn the game from what was a very close game into a not so close game in the blink of an eye. So if SU can maintain this level of defense, right, there were about 30 seconds of ugly defense from SU, and that's where that game blew open, but about 4.5 minutes of pretty high-level defense keeps them in this game. If they can bump that up to 5, if not a bit more in overtime, that seems to be the winning formula for SU.
Kiazi, the one up in the air. Right with the save, but then the follow-up from Mango right off of the bat, 8 seconds in, and SU is already on the board.
I love that from Kiazi. I mean, that was a very threatening shot. He forced 2 defenders up. I mean, that is a bit of a miscommunication from JMU, but it did look like it might have gone over the first defender, so JMU sends 2 to respond, and Mango's all the way there with a follow-up. So I love that play from Kiazi, setting up his teammate to put it in the net.
Kiazi again now with a shot on goal. Tyler is there for the save, and now looks like it's JMU's turn. Gad not opting to follow up on that one, but possibly not a whole lot to really go off of, as they were running a little bit low in the boost department, as now Kiazi is there trying to push this ball back towards midfield. That is an open net, but Mango is there in time to find the save and push that ball off into the corner. SU defense looking strong so far.
Yeah, strong start. Kiazi getting a little aggressive in front of Mango, trying to set up a bit of a play here, but 2 people in the corner for JMU means that SU tries to contest and win a 50-50. They can't quite do it, and now Pagani finds himself a little overcommitted. Mango forced to make a play and can do it, but the clear goes right into the hands of JMU's offense. They can't quite put a shot on net, and now SU with a bit of a breakaway here. A potential shot on goal, but a good hand up by Fright. Gets launched by his own teammate, but is able to make it back to the ball. Kiazi puts one off the back, but no follow-up ready, as the boost numbers are getting awfully low for SU, and they find themselves back on their own side of the field again.
Yeah, they do find that clear, however, and that allows them to get back, get some boost, and try to get something going on this offensive side to extend their lead thus far, as Mango takes that one into a pinch onto the ground, finds that mid boost as well, as Pagani now with a pass from the corner. Tyler able to intercept that one, but Pagani back up in the air to try to push that one into that cross position. Mango not falling for the fake, does not find the initial save, but off of the crossbar goes the ball. Gad able to find the tying goal yet again.
Yeah, this is tough. Mango jumped right there and missed, and then was forced to kind of panic and try to make a play, and unfortunately puts that one in for the bad guys. So SU unfortunately lets up a goal, ties this thing up, but again, about 5 minutes of good defense. One little break is all it takes for JMU to take advantage.
Yeah, 1-1 now as we get closer and closer to halfway through game number 3. Mango up in the air, but a good touch coming through from JMU defense means that he can't follow up on that clear. Fright able to beat that one out. Tyler with a touch. Mango in position, able to get this ball almost past Gad, but enough out of the way from the goal to save a potential leading shot from JMU, as we now hit halfway through game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, we are back to 0-0 now. You got to be able to shake that last one off and find another opportunity on the net. SU has not really had a good look offensively since the first 10 seconds of this game. So going to have to find their way not only out of their own side of the field, but with a meaningful look down on the other side of the pitch. And we'll see if this is their opportunity, but just like that, Fright knocks it past 2, and a demo means that James Madison will continue this offensive push, with Tyler looking to find one touch and can't quite do it, but no boost on Pagani means we're going to play a slow offensive game here from SU.
Yeah, toss up from Pagani to Kiazi. Aren't able to find that connection fast enough to make anything out of it, as Mango just playing some bumper cars there in JMU's corner, as they find it clear in favor of JMU there. We'll see if they can get this ball out of harm's way. The pop-up, Kiazi up in the air to try to reach that one. Tyler with a shot on goal, but Pagani back to find the push off into the corner yet again. But now it's JMU solely on this offensive push. All the tap coming up as well. The ball dangerously hovering in front of SU's net, but not going in.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for Pagani. He does find the center, but it's a little behind Mango. So Kiazi's going to be forced to go up and make a play by himself, at least buy some time for his guys to get back as Mango sets one up for Pagani, but well defended by JMU. 1 minute left in this game, and SU is finding some looks on the opposite side. Mango's going to find a touch here and try to send it up to himself, but he doesn't find the touch he wants and gets bumped. So a tough break for the big scoring threat, and now one finds its way over the SU defense, and a nice double touch. Gad is able to put one in and pull ahead for the Dukes.
Yeah, Pagani there with another mishit up against that wall. Kiazi has to try to get this ball out of the front of the net and just unable to make contact. Now with 45 seconds left, JMU find themselves the 2-1 goal lead. The demo coming through. They have an opening and Mango takes advantage, able to tie it up quickly. 39 to go.
Man, I've been saying it all day. You're not going to get opportunities like this often, but boy, have they been capitalizing when the looks are there. A great demo just throws off the rhythm enough for JMU that the last man comes flying in late, and SU strikes back quick to tie this thing up.
Kiazi now with a potential look toss up to Mango with a shot on goal, but Gad is there with the save yet again. Another beautiful look coming through from the Hornets off of that kickoff, as now Fright trying to maintain possession. The pass up to Kiazi has some boosts to work with. Wins out on the 50. Pagani there to follow, but no one is back on defense. The clear goes wide, however, from Gad. So they are unable to capitalize on the empty net potential for JMU, is now the 50-50 in favor of Kiazi. 2 seconds left. A shot on goal goes on target, but Fright is there for the save.
All right, I really liked that last minute from SU. It was a way more offensive and proper clears, right? Finding your teammates on clears to get the ball farther downfield in a meaningful way. So need to see more of that from SU, as this is their first game with more than one goal on the board, but still in overtime gonna have to find 3 goals in this one if they are to come out winners.
Pagani now with some boost to work with. We'll let Mango take it instead up into that corner. Kiazi with a follow-up won't be able to find an angle. Tyler getting demoed there as well from Pagani, but Mango instead opting to try to play it slow in that midfield. A mishit coming through from Kiazi. Could have been a nice clear to try to follow up on, as now it's Fright up in the air. Pagani able to meet that one halfway. Mango missing out on that ball as well. Pagani able to get back, but no one else is there on defense. JMU take game 3 overtime and take a 2-1 series lead.
Yeah, Kiazi goes just a little wide and forces Pagani to make an uncomfortable save, and that clear goes right back in the hands of the JMU shooter. So puts one right on net. And we find ourselves in a deficit here, down 2-1. SU's going to have to play some perfect Rocket League from here on out.
And it's looked good so far, right? They just have had some very unfortunate mishits when it matters, right? I mean, Mango unable to find that aerial carry. Pagani with a mishit up against the wall to let up the tying goal in that game. I mean, it's just been very subtle mistakes that have come back to bite them in a major way.
Yeah, ball's just not coming off the car how they're thinking it will. Like I've seen the looks that they've been going for. A lot of the pop-ups just haven't quite been popping up, if you will. I know Kiazi had an opportunity. I sort of audibly reacted. He could have put a shot in from about 75% of the way down the field, and he looked for it. He saw the angle, but it just ended up being sort of a weak little floater off his car. So yeah, just the ball's not coming off the car how they're expecting it to, and they're going to have to clean that up. I mean, that's not how you're going to win games, and so they've got, well, 2 more games to figure it out, but they're going to have to have figured it out by now, as they have no more room for error, down 2-1 in this best of 5.
Yeah, JMU on series point here, trying to advance to a 4-0 record here in NACE as SU is trying to make their way back up to 500 ball, sitting at 1 and 2, trying to give themselves a chance to get out of this group. So we'll have to see if SU can stay alive here with a win in game number 4, and then to take the series in game number 5. But right now, it's JMU on the offense. Mango off the backboard, able to find a slight touch to get that ball out of that top down angle, which is a very hard ball to defend as a whiff comes through from Pagani there. Yet again, Kiazi having to meet that one in the corner instead. And then an immediate demo onto Pagani as well. Shenandoah struggling to stay in the game and find these touches the way they want, as that one finds a beautiful clear coming through from Pagani. Mango with the follow-up, but can't find anything off of it.
Yeah, SU, I think, was a little lucky to come out of that one unscathed. There were a couple moments where I looked at the boost numbers and it was like 0-20-0. But JMU wasn't able to put much of a shot together, and so SU comes out unscathed, and I think they are a little bit lucky to get out of that one. But Tyler with a good preemptive play there. Mango forced to come back and make a play for the SU defense, and the ball finally gets banged all the way downfield to buy some time for this Hornets unit to move upfield. But Fright's going to look to take it all the way himself, and a shot on net. Kiazi is more than prepared for it, and now SU looking to respond with their own all the way down the field, right between two different, right between three. Where did they go?
I don't know how you find that angle, but I liked it. I mean, Kiazi with just a drop pass gets past everybody, just barely 3 defenders in the way, and none of them able to make contact. SU up 1-0.
Oh, wow. I mean, hey, sometimes you take them where you can get them, and that one, I don't think Mango was expecting that one to go in, but it does, and you can't complain about that. 1-0 in favor of the Hornets, and that means 3 more minutes of great defense is what it's going to take to win this game. The formula has been laid out to beat this JMU squad, and so far SU's been able to pull it off in game 1, but has not been able to replicate that. So it's hard to shut out a team. It's hard to shut out any team, but again, it's been difficult to find those windows on this Duke's defense.
Yeah, Pagani bailing off of that pass, opting to go back on the defensive rotation. The flip up coming through. Fright with the carry off into the post, able to save a potential leading goal. The ball's hovering around. I don't know if
I think we're lagging.
Game is stuck. Everyone is going in circles.
We're gonna bring you back to the booth.
So yeah, not sure what just happened there, but a lot of ring around the rosy coming through.
I very genuinely thought the players were doing that.
I thought so too. Yeah, I was like, I have no idea what's happening. No.
Wow. Okay. So I just heard our producer say that the lobby DC'd. Does that mean we DC'd or all the players DC'd? I don't know what that will mean for the stakes of this game. If we're gonna have to remake the lobby, or I doubt we'll. Oh, hey, Rocket League did just like release an update where you can, or no, what am I thinking of?
I have no
Rocket
idea.
League, yes, released an update where you can, make a custom lobby and set the time to exactly what it is, so we don't have to play some silly, play until the clock hits 2:30. So we'll see. It does look like we are remaking the lobby. So it looks like everybody probably got DC'd there. It was more than just our observer PC, but tough break there.
Yeah.
Bit of adversity coming in for both of these teams.
You thought the technology would work today, but no. It has other plans, a curveball coming through. I was really confused what was happening with Gad for a moment. I was like, he's just driving circles around.
Oh my God, he missed it again!
And I was like, what is going on? Why is no one on SU following up on these misses? But no, everyone was going around in circles. So we will be able to hop back into this game. I believe just right where we left off pretty much with the 1-0 score. I mean, we're going to go back into a kickoff scenario, it would seem, but still, nonetheless, the goal from SU and the time will remain the same. Mango now with a demo right off of that unpause kickoff, but unable to find anything off of it as Mango finds a cross over to Kiazi, who continues to push that ball along in midfield. Fright, the one up in the air now. Pagani nailing that wall. Not exactly what he wanted to do in that sense, but still SU holding on to this 1-goal lead. Gad with a touch just goes wide. 2 minutes to go. JMU right now in firm control.
Yeah, that one does float over the defender. Never mind. Gad able to get up top and find a hand on it. Kiazi with a nasty angle off the side of his car. Does put, I mean, show me this shot again. That is a wild angle. He was facing more than away from the net, but is able to pop one up and find it off the head of the JMU defender there. And man, SU finds himself with their largest lead of this series.
Yeah, and Fright was there. I mean, the placement of that shot was pixel perfect coming through from Kiazi Pagani, the one in the air now, just trying to push that one down into that bottom right corner, but can't find the angle on that one either, as JMU Fright answer back quickly and keep this game within 1.
Yeah, this is a full field play right here. Pagani tries to meet him up top, but Fright with a nice little touch there, a nice little finger roll to send it the rest of the field. And JMU responds quickly. 90 seconds left in this one.
Ball hovering midfield off of that kickoff. Pagani no boost to work with. A pinch coming across the field will fall in favor of... I don't know how Mango got demoed there, but I guess that is how that one is going to work, as Pagani is able to find the clear. Fright now up off of the backboard. Tyler in position. Mango able to find a clear in favor of SU. Gad will meet that one halfway. A whiff coming through from Kiazi. Pagani trying to get up in the air, but can't find an angle yet again. James Madison answers back with 2 quick goals.
Yeah, this is tough. Pagani, again, just inching up a little too close to the ball after Kiazi goes wide. So forced to sort of back up and gets caught a little flat-footed, can't make a good play on the ball, and JMU quickly ties this thing up, and we are back to 0-0.
0-0 with a minute to go here in game number 4. Tyler, the one up in the air, passing it down to Fright. The bump on to Mango instead will be the nail in the coffin potentially here in game number 4, as JMU have 3 unanswered.
Yeah, nice little flip reset. It finds that last touch and sends it high. Nobody on SU able to make a play. And now, again, the blink of an eye in this game has absolutely blown open in favor of JMU.
Pagani up in the air again, finds a nice bump onto Fright. The cross, however, no follow-up coming through from the Hornet. A shot on goal. Mango able to push that one up off of that crossbar. Now 35 seconds left. Shenandoah backs against the wall, have to find a goal and try to force an overtime.
Yeah, good touch there from Pagani to not let that play develop. Kiazi does not have to be the one to make a play there, but Tyler goes a little wide, and now 20 seconds left in this series. Oh, a nice little touch there, but Fright all the way back. Wait a minute. Okay. Sort of killed the ball right in front of the net, but gave a little bit of false hope, and now a double demo means that 2 SU defenders are going to be back, but can't make the play with the little boost they have, and with that, a 2-goal lead in game 4 here might just mean this series is over.
Yeah, the double demo into the goal will put this series on ice with 8 seconds left. It's practically impossible to find 2 goals in that time frame. 5 seconds and counting. Let's see if SU can finish off this series on a high note. It's Pagani, the one in the air, tossing it up off of the backboard, but a clear coming through from Fright will mean that ball will land on the ground, and JMU answer back with 3 games in a row and win the series 3-1.
Yeah, that's a hard one to lose. SU had a lot going for them at times, and I mean, just these little 30-second spans where it all blew open for JMU. They were more than able to capitalize and take the lead all the way back and find their way back into the win column where games were looking pretty bleak.
Yeah, JMU now advancing up to 4-0 here in this NACE group. SU falling down to 1-3. It looked really, really good in game number 1. They had another overtime in game number 3 there as well, but they just couldn't keep the ball rolling. A lot of self-inflicted wounds coming through from the Hornets. A lot of mishits that we don't often see from this squad. really the one to seal this series was just individual misplay.
Yeah, it just felt like a weird night from the Hornets squad. A lot of, weird touches, weird bounces, just not falling their way. And sometimes you're going to have bad days. That's all right. But JMU looking very good, very consistent throughout the series, able to take advantage of the miscues for SU and comes out on top because of it. So they should be proud of that. They maintain their perfect season and are looking very strong going into the back end of the season. This is week 4, and they are still undefeated.
I mean, that's exactly where you want to be. If you're any team in this group, a 4-0 start is a beautiful thing in a very, very tough group here in NACE. But SU has some work to do here on, I feel, the defensive end, right? They're trying to find these clears, but they can't quite find the contact that they're really looking for a lot of the time, and they haven't been able to really fix that in this series. It felt like it frankly got a little worse towards the end of that series as well, maybe getting in their heads a little bit too much of what they're trying to do with how close these games are. Maybe there's a little bit of nerves involved in some of these hits as well, thinking that if I miss this, it's going to be doomed, and that forces a miss hit. Not quite sure what was going on there, but certainly some things to look at.
Yeah, it sort of felt like the time of possession started to really snowball in favor of JMU, right? I kept saying that you weren't going to get many looks at the JMU net. You weren't going to get many opportunities. It felt like they were getting less and less over the course of the series as JMU was able to keep sort of peppering shots all throughout those games. And more each game, the windows of offense for SU were becoming smaller and smaller as well as lesser and lesser. So props to JMU for maintaining control of the ball for a majority of those games, right? That is not strictly on SU. JMU was able to perform and step up in that way, but SU is going to have to find an answer for that going forward.
Yeah, definitely some stuff to look at from SU, but I believe we'll be going to a short break here as we do have our Shenandoah University Smash Bros team playing here tonight at 8 o'clock against Northwood, another very, very powerful school in the esports scene and a pretty darn good Smash Bros team while we're at it. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some Super Smash Bros.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry, so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth, where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena.
Mm-hmm.